Hey everyone, welcome back to Chicory's Travels. In this video today, we're going to do something a little different, and it comes from reading a lot of news stories about RVing. On our Beyond the Wheel podcast page, we have a link to updated news stories that updates every hour, so I always enjoy going on there and reading the latest news. And I found that people use their RVs in a lot of unique ways, and maybe not the best use of an RV. So we're going to go through kind of our top 4 ways not to use an RV in this video. So hopefully you find it a little enjoyable, and maybe you'll learn that you've been using your RV all wrong throughout these years. So the number 4 reason is to use the vehicle as a gang headquarters. And so I found this article this week, and it is the headline, kind of the first line is, a student drug dealer who fired a gun at rival drug gang's motorhome as a warning shot after being stabbed and jailed. Or is jailed.
Yeah.
So first of all, I don't want a student drug dealer doing my dirty work. I'd rather have like a graduated drug dealer doing my work.
Is this one being mentored or something?
I don't know
what
how
student?
they do it in this was from Wales. I don't know how they do it in Wales, but this seemed like an entry-level drug dealer who was still learning. And he fired his gun at a rival gang's motorhome, and I'm thinking, why on earth would you use a motorhome as a gang headquarters? It's not inconspicuous. I mean, people are going to know it's out there, and they're not private. I mean, they're built so thin that if you're having gang discussions, I'm not really sure what they would be. I'm sure people outside could hear you. I mean, the walls are so thin in an RV, if you listen really close, you can hear a mouse fart. So it's not a good use of a motorhome.
Maybe they like it because they can keep moving around, and so they don't have like a fixed address or something. But apparently, this one wasn't moving around enough if a rival was able to find it.
Yeah.
So don't be like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Don't use your RV as a place to make drugs, sell drugs, or have your gang meetings.
Right. Yeah. Not a good use. Number 3 is not to use it as a race vehicle. And I found a story from 2012 on this website called Car Buzz, and it has several YouTube videos on various RV races, and they even say it in the article, this is the most ridiculous sport ever, and so there's a few reasons why it's not recommended. First of all, RVs are not built for speed, and they don't have like aerodynamic design to them, most of them, so you're not going to go very fast. They're really bad on gas mileage, so you're going to have to be stopping for gas a lot while you're racing.
Yeah, and if you think about it, they're really not built to withstand this kind of fun. If you watch any of these videos, I've seen a couple where they're like pulling travel trailers, and they round the curve and the thing's falling apart. When I was a teenager in Georgia, on the weekends we used to go to this thing called enduro races, and basically it was just like keep going until your vehicle falls apart, and they were always like old junkers, and that's what these videos remind me of these motorhomes. And then of course the other problem is you're never going to be able to enjoy it at the campground after you do even one race, because it's a mess.
Yeah, it's going to be destroyed pretty much after just one. So try not to do that unless you're planning on destroying your RV anyway. Then maybe you can take it to a race and see how it does.
It does seem sometimes on the highway, I have seen some people who look like they're trying to race on the highway with their RVs. So please don't do that either. It's very unsafe. And I've especially seen it with like travel trailers and the back ends going like this, and it's like, geez, people, slow down. enjoy the journey.
Yeah, and just as a side note, your tires on your RV aren't meant to go that fast. So, keep within the speed parameters of whatever tire you have. Okay, now we'll move to number 2. And this is, you don't want to use an RV as a drive-through vehicle. And this was an article from last year, 2 years ago, where a lady in Kennewick, Washington, had a good evening of drinking, and then so she got a craving for Taco Bell and tried to go through the Taco Bell drive-through in her Class A motorhome.
And the craziest thing about it was, because you know how the door or whatever's on the opposite side is the only reason why, I mean, of course, we're trying to apply logic to this insane scenario, but the point is, she not only went through the drive-through, but she went through it backwards. Yeah. And we're thinking, I don't know, maybe because she was trying to use the door or something, but again, we're trying to apply logic to someone who is inebriated enough to even go through a drive-through to begin with.
Yeah, it just seems kind of crazy to even attempt this. And, I have a hard enough time just getting our Chevy Dually through a drive-through sometimes.
Oh, yeah. One time we went through one and we had to go, like when you're turning the corner after you order, we had to go like way up over the curb and stuff just to turn around in the drive-through. Yeah. So I can't even imagine doing it in a small RV.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But this lady managed to get stuck and probably pissed off a lot of other late night Taco Bell goers because they couldn't get through the drive-through. And normally there's a height restriction on drive-thrus too. So in all seriousness, if you, let's say you have a small Class C and you want to take it through a drive-through, please check it out before you get in line, because lots of them are just not made for vehicles that wide or that tall.
Yeah.
And then finally, our number 1 is to use your RV to outrun the police. And so there was just an article a couple days ago in Ohio, and they released the footage from the dash cam of the the dash cam of the police car, and a person was in the process of stealing vehicles, I guess, and somebody called the police, and they came up on this person, and the person tried to outrun them in a Winnebago. Ooh. The antenna was still up.
The slide was out, it looks like.
Seemed to do quite well through most of the chase, so even with the slide out. So good construction Winnebago. Yeah. And then there's another one who, lady in California near Santa Clarita, led police on a chase in this was a nice size Class A motorhome, yeah. And totally destroyed this this motorhome.
It looks like maybe someone crashed into it, huh? At the end of the...
Well, she crashed into a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get away in an RV.
No.
So we hope you enjoyed this short video on some crazy ways that we found in the news on people using RVs and our idea of how not to use them. Leave a comment below on the craziest things you've seen people do with I keep saying Winnebago now.
Yeah,
with RVs. RV. And let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your stories.
And until we see you on the road, hopefully not in one of these situations.
Yes. Safe travels.